Hi everybody, this is the Football Height, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Height, and welcome back to the Football Height, and hope you like this video and subscribe as we get into the week 2 of the NFL. As you know, week 1 was a complete, total disaster. The New York Giants, and I mean, had one of the worst, it was one of the worst performances in the history of the NFL, and I'm not joking. So we're going to talk about the Giants here and what they need to do against the Cardinals. They're going to be playing the Cardinals in Arizona. They're going to be out on the West Coast for 2 weeks, so they're not going to be home until after they play the 49ers. That is going to be tough, too. Giants.com. The Giants 23 campaign did not begin how they planned. No, it did not. But Brian Daboll's squad has an opportunity to put it behind them when they travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals in week 2. There are a few things you could build on, but when you get beat like the way we got beat, no excuses, Daboll said on Monday, a day after their 40-0 loss to Dallas. I say there's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of corrections that need to be made, and that's what we'll do today. This weekend's game is the second consecutive NFC East matchup for the Cardinals after traveling to FedEx Field to take on the Commanders in Week 1. Despite leading the majority of the second half, the Cardinals lost in Jonathan Gannon's debut as head coach 20-16. Here are 5 storylines to follow in Week 2. 1. Turning the page. Throughout the 22 campaign, Daboll preached the importance of staying even-keeled during the ups and downs of an NFL season. While the Giants were riding the highs for a good portion of last season, they've been undoubtedly dealing with some of the lows following last week's loss. It was a poor performance, Daboll told the media on Monday. You learn from the things that you can learn from, and then you really got to get focused on the next week. Whether it was a win or a loss, it really has no effect on the next week. Your job is to be honest, to show them some of the things that we can do better as a team, whether it's a staff, whether it's a player, and then to get on to next week. Like I said, it's a humbling league, and 1 week doesn't have much effect on the next. Your preparation, your performance, ultimately on Sunday, or whatever that day is, that's what we will focus on, a lot to learn. Do our best to teach it, to learn from it, to go out there and have a good week of practice, and to get ready for the next week's opponent. According to NFL research, the Giants became the 8th team in NFL history to lose its season opener in a 40-plus point shutout. 2 of the first 7 teams ended up making the playoffs and winning a postseason game. Well, isn't that interesting? Interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that. Isn't that great news? Earlier on Wednesday, there was a collision at Giants camp with a cornerback, Amani Ararare. He was carted off on the field. Apparently he's okay, but that was a very scary situation because they had to put him immobilized, and he was moving his arms and his hands. So hopefully he's okay for the week. I don't know if he's going to play. We have some injury updates for the week. Daboll updated the Giants' injury situation on Wednesday, starting with standout left tackle Andrew Thomas. The second-team All-Pro is dealing with a hamstring injury and did not participate in practice to start the week. He will not practice today. He's making progress. I put him in day-to-day. Matt Purdy is listed as the backup left tackle on the unofficial depth chart, but he is dealing with an elbow injury himself and was limited on Wednesday. The other option is Joshua Azanudu, a versatile second-year pro who was on the field for 12 pass block snaps at left tackle during the second half of last week's game, did not allow any pressures. Azanudu started 6 games at left tackle across his 3 seasons at UNC. Quote, he did good. He's been practicing there for a while, Daboll said about Azanudu's performance at left tackle last week. You guys haven't seen it, but we practice him. We move guys around. He's certainly an option at that spot, too. Kicker Graham Gano is working through an ankle injury that he suffered during the blocked field goal return, but the veteran was a limited participant on Wednesday's practice. Rookie cornerback Deontay Banks, who left Sunday's game early due to cramps, was also back on the practice field as a limited participant. He's dealing with a calf injury. Wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, left with a knee, was activated off the physically unable to perform list prior to cut-down day. The second-year wideout was inactive for the season opener and may not be ready for this weekend's game either, but Daboll told reporters that Robinson's progressing from last year's torn ACL. Tight end Darren Waller was given a veteran rest day, something Daboll told reporters has been planned for a while and likely occurred once a week throughout the season. Outside linebacker Aziz Ajulari had a hamstring, was also limited on Wednesday. All right. He is protecting the football. One of the Giants' strengths last season was the ability to protect the football. They turned it over just 16 times, the second lowest mark in the league, led by Daniel Jones' NFL best 1.1 interception percentage. The success in that department did not carry over to the start of this year. Jones, threw 2 interceptions against the Cowboys. On the second, Saquon Barkley was hit hard. He's caught the football over the middle, causing it to pop up into the air and into the hands of Daron Bland, who ran it back for a Dallas touchdown. On the second, Jones scrambled out of the pocket and attempted a pass to Darren Waller, which Stephon Gilmore intercepted. Jones took responsibility after the game, and the pass was a poor decision in a situation where I was trying to force something that wasn't there and needed to throw the ball out of bounds and move on to the next play. That was a rough pass, folks. You know, he cannot be what he was prior to last year. Getting after the quarterback. Due to touchdowns by the defense and special teams, the Cowboys jumped out to an early 16-0 lead on Sunday night. This led to quarterback Dak Prescott not needing to do much for the rest of the game, as Dallas leaned on the rushing attack. Prescott finished the night 13 of 24 and a passing rating of 72, but was not sacked the entire game. Wink Martindale's unit ranked 13th in the league last year with 41 sacks, and that was with Kayvon Thibodeau, Aziz Girardi, and Leonard Williams missing a combined 18 games. All three, along with Dexter Lawrence, are healthy, but the defensive line struggled to get after Prescott last week. There was no defense. Defense totaled 6 pressures against a strong Dallas offensive line, 4 of which came from Lawrence. Arizona surrendered 3 sacks and 11 tackles for loss to the Commanders last weekend. Washington generated 11 total pressures against the Cardinals. According to Pro Football Focus, last season Arizona was tied for 23rd in the league with 46 sacks allowed. Now we're going to talk about the Cardinals. Earlier this week, Gannon named Joshua Dobbs the team's starting quarterback for the second consecutive game. Dobbs was acquired and traded with the Cleveland Browns just a few weeks ago, but quickly won the quarterback 1 spot over rookie Clayton Tune. In his Cardinals debut, Dobbs completed 21 of 30 passes for 132 yards and a rating as a passer of 78.8%. Meanwhile, veteran running back James Conner carried the ball 14 times for 62 yards against the Commanders. Conner has rushed for 750-plus yards in each of his last 2 seasons. Wide receiver Rondale Moore and Marquise Brown each caught 3 passes from Dobbs in the season opener. Veteran tight end Zach Ertz led the team with 6 receptions, but was only for 21 yards. On defense, the Cardinals racked up 6 sacks, including 2 from linebacker Dennis Gardeck. The veteran recorded 7 sacks in 14 games during the 20 campaign, but recorded just 1 sack total across his other 4 NFL seasons prior to this year. Fellow linebacker Zevon Collins, a first-round pick in 21, registered an interception in the opener. Linebacker Kezar White, in his first season with the Cardinals, led the team with 9 tackles last week. 3-time All-Pro safety Buda Baker picked up 5 tackles, 3 solo. Now let me get to the odds, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Obviously with this week 1 drubbing that the Giants got from the Cowboys, it hasn't really affected the betting line against the Cardinals. The Giants are heading into week 2 reeling from a 40-0 collapse against the Dallas Cowboys, New York's worst loss by point differential since 1973. However, it didn't appear that odd makers are overreacted week 1. DraftKings Sportsbook still lists the Giants as 4.5-point favorites to beat the Arizona Cardinals on the road this Sunday. There's only 4 games in week 2 with larger spreads. Now, I have the Giants going 9-8 this year. I'm going to hope that they can steal a game somewhere along the line. But so far, in spite of this bad game they had against the Cowboys, I feel that the Giants are kind of on pace to where they needed to be. I don't know if they're going to make the postseason. I think they'll make the postseason, the playoffs, but it's going to be awfully tough. But so far, they lost the first game. I kind of figured they were going to lose the first game, not 40-0, but I thought they had a chance to win the game. But obviously, and they were 3.5-point underdogs in that game. I think they'll win this week against Arizona. Next week will be tough because they're going up against the 49ers. I don't know if they're going to win that game. Right now, I'm leaning towards them losing that game. So going into the first 3 weeks, they'll be 1-2. So they got to win this game on Sunday if they're going to be able to keep pace with where I think they need to be. So you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Football Hut. Thank you, and I'll see you later.